So this one might turn into many questions for the Reformed Calvinist tulip people. According to their theology, God has predetermined me, a Christian, a born-again, regenerate Christian, to break his commands and to go against his will and to go against his desires, which is weird right off the bat. Is God really so limited that he's got to prescript Christian failures to get his purposes done, to accomplish his will, to Ephesians 1:11, to Isaiah 46:10 and 11? My purposes will stand. I know the beginning from the end. He really needs Christians to slap him in the face with sin to get his will and his purposes and his good pleasures done. That's weird. Now, not only does God, according to Calvinism, Reformed tulip theology, not only does he do that for the believer, but he also says, love me, follow me. You will have no part of me unless you abide in me. Go read 1 John chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It's all over the place. But I'm going to declare you not to be able to. That's very weird. And it's purposeful. And God wants it, needs it secretively. I'm not sure. So, I always bring these up, but they're so strong to go against what I just said. But what I said must be true according to tulip theology. What truth am I suppressing if you go to Romans 1, 18 through 21? They know it, but they suppress the truth. No. The truth is God decreed me, predetermined me to live against his will and be confused and not understand. And it looks like I'm suppressing the truth, but ultimately it can't be. It's predetermined. And why would God be so limited in his vocabulary to say, hey, but they knew the truth because of my eternal powers have always been known and shown through creation, but they suppressed the truth. What? They can't suppress the truth because you didn't give it to them. You made them unable to hear it, understand it. There is no truth to suppress. And not only do we suppress the truth, keep reading Romans 1. It also goes on to say they became futile. They became darkened. They became hardened, henceforth suppressing the truth. How are these things possible if Reformed theology is true? Not to mention this one. God went so far to give me a Bible purposely, me, a Christian, yet he's predetermined me to totally disagree with what supposedly is true, which is Calvinism, Reformed, and tulip theology. I think it's the worst thing on the planet. I do think it's satanic. Sorry, but I just do. I wish I wouldn't have spent a lot of time trying to learn how the devil works when I was watching my kids go crazy in a Christian home. Like, how could this be? How could they be influenced besides what I'm showing them? Of course, the tulip follower says, predetermined. Devil's influences really aren't at work. What's at work is a predetermined decree that God's meticulously controlling. This video is too long. So why did God predetermine me, anybody, to go against his will, but as specifically the Christian against his will and his purposes, when we're called to love him and honor him and abide in him? But he says, I'm going to write you a script where you're totally going to be haywire and you're not going to actually believe the truth. Is that really from God? Does that even make sense that God would do that for his children?